Picture a man lying in bed. It is 2 p.m. on a Saturday. He isn't sick. He isn't physically exhausted from manual labor. He has a phone in his hand, and he has been scrolling for 3 hours. The room is dim. The air is stale. If you asked him how he feels, he wouldn't say relaxed. He wouldn't say recharged. He would say he feels heavy, drained, paralyzed. He knows there are 1,000 things he should be doing, cleaning the house, calling his mother, working on that project, but he physically cannot make his body move. This is the face of the fourth deadly sin, sloth. In our modern culture, we treat sloth as a joke. We call it being lazy. We put it on t-shirts with pictures of cute animals sleeping. But the ancient monks in the desert didn't laugh at sloth. They feared it. They called it the Noonday Demon. They understood something we have forgotten. Sloth is not a physical state, it is a spiritual crisis. It is not the desire to rest, it is the refusal to live. In this episode of the 7 Deadly Sins, we are going to uncover the terrifying psychology behind this spiritual sluggishness. We will look at why doing nothing makes you more tired, the neuroscience of the freeze response, and how to finally wake up from the coma and reclaim your life. First, let's clear up the biggest misconception. Sloth is not rest. Rest is intentional. Rest restores your energy so you can return to your work with vigor. God rested on the 7th day. Rest is holy. Sloth is the opposite. Sloth drains your energy. It leaves you feeling guilty, anxious, and hollow. The Greek word used by the early church wasn't laziness. It was acedia. Translated literally, it means lack of care. Apathy. It's the state where you stop caring about your purpose. You stop caring about the world. You stop caring about your own soul. The switch flips when avoidance becomes your lifestyle. You aren't resting to heal, you are sleeping to hide. You aren't watching Netflix to enjoy a story, you are watching it to numb the noise in your head. Acedia is a subtle poison. It doesn't kill you instantly like wrath or destroy your reputation like lust. It just slowly dims the lights until you are sitting in total darkness. The ancient Christian thinkers made a brilliant distinction. They taught that sin isn't just doing bad things, omission. Sin is also failing to do good things, omission. Sloth is the ultimate sin of omission. The Desert Fathers described the Noonday Demon as an attack that comes in the middle of the day, when the sun is high, when life should be clearest. It attacks the monk with a sense of overwhelming boredom and disgust for his duties. It whispers, "This doesn't matter. None of this matters. Just lay down." Dante Alighieri, in his Divine Comedy, placed the slothful in purgatory, forcing them to run endlessly. Why? Because in life, they refused to move with love. They had love for comfort, love for ease, but they had no zeal for the good. The ancient warning is clear: you don't have to be a murderer to waste your life. You just have to do nothing. The tragedy of sloth is not the evil you commit, but the good that dies inside you because you never birthed it. There is no better case study for this than the parable of the talents in Matthew 25. A master gives his servants money, talents, to invest while he is away. 2 servants take risks. They work. They double the money. But the 3rd servant? He digs a hole and buries the gold. When the master returns, listen to the servant's excuse: "Master, I knew you were a hard man. So I was afraid and went out and hid your gold in the ground." Notice this: the servant wasn't lazy in the way we think. He didn't spend the money on parties. He didn't steal it. He was afraid. The master calls him wicked and slothful. Why? Because he chose safety over growth. He chose stagnation over risk. Sloth is often just fear wearing a mask. We are terrified of failing, terrified of judgment, or even terrified of succeeding, so we do nothing. We bury our talent. But the parable ends brutally. The talent is taken from him. The lesson is terrifying: use it or lose it. If you let sloth rule you, your potential doesn't just sit there waiting for you. It rots. Modern psychology gives us a fascinating biological explanation for acedia. We often talk about fight or flight. But there is a third response to stress: freeze. When your nervous system is overwhelmed by anxiety, trauma, or too much information, it shuts down. It enters a dorsal vagal state. Your heart rate slows. Your motivation evaporates. You feel physically heavy. This is your body trying to play dead to survive a predator. But in the modern world, the predator isn't the lion. The predator is life itself. It's your emails, your debt, your expectations. So, how do we cope with this freeze response today? We numb ourselves. We enter the digital coma. We scroll. We game. We consume adult content. Not for pleasure, but for anesthesia. This is where the trap tightens. And this is why I constantly talk about digital hygiene. Sloth loves the smartphone. It is the perfect tool to keep you in a state of passive consumption. You can lose entire decades of your life to a screen. If you find yourself constantly checking your phone to avoid doing deep work, you are feeding the sloth. You need to break the secrecy of this habit. This is why I recommend Ever Accountable. It is a tool that monitors your devices and shares your activity with a trusted partner. Why does this help sloth? Because when you know someone is watching, you can't just check out. It forces you to be present. It breaks the trance. It turns secret numbing into open accountability. I've linked it in the description. If you are stuck in the digital scroll, get this tool. What is the cost of sloth? It is not fire and brimstone. The punishment of sloth is far worse. The punishment of sloth is regret. It is waking up at 50 years old and realizing you are exactly the same person you were at 20. You have the same habits, the same fears, the same smallness. You see others who started with less than you building families, businesses, and legacies. And you wonder, why not me? The consequence of sloth is the death of your possible self. Every day you choose the bed over the desk, the phone over the conversation, the easy path over the hard path. You are killing the version of you that could have been. C.S. Lewis wrote that the safest road to hell is the gradual one, the gentle slope, soft underfoot, without sudden turnings, without milestones, without signposts. You just drift. And one day, you realize you have drifted too far to swim back. So, how do we defeat the Noonday Demon? How do we break the freeze? First, you must understand a rule of human psychology: action precedes motivation. Sloth lies to you. It says, wait until you feel like doing it. But you will never feel like doing it. The feeling follows the movement. You have to move the body first, and the mind will follow. But deeper than that, we must cure the spiritual root. Remember, acedia is a lack of care. We stop caring because we lose sight of our purpose. We get lazy because we don't know why we are here. If you don't have a target, you won't pull the bowstring. This is why, if you are struggling with deep, chronic sluggishness, I highly recommend reading The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren. It is not just a book, it is a roadmap. It forces you to answer the question, what on earth am I here for? When you realize that your life is not an accident, that you have a specific mission that only you can fulfill, sloth becomes impossible. You cannot sleep when you know the world needs what you have. The antidote to sloth is not hard work. It is meaning. Find your meaning, and the energy will return. There is a Latin phrase, carpe diem. Seize the day. But for the man fighting sloth, the challenge is simpler: seize the moment. You have a choice right now. You can click off this video and open another tab. You can go back to sleep. You can bury your talent for another day. Or, you can stand up. You can do one small thing that matters. You can wash the dish. You can write the sentence. You can say the prayer. Movement is life. Stagnation is death. Don't let the Noonday Demon steal your daylight. If you are ready to wake up and refine your soul, make sure you are subscribed to Soul Refined. We are building a community of men who are refusing to drift. I'll see you in the next one. Get moving.